The book flew through the air, and I knew it was going to hit her right on the face, so I did all I could do. I ran straight at Poppy and tackled her. The book zoomed past my ear and barely grazed me. It was a heavy book, too, the kind that would have given her a broken nose if it smacked her in the face. Poppy and I landed unharmed on the lawn. I brushed dirt off of me and checked that she was alright, and then I rounded on her attackers. Yo, what the heck, man? What's wrong with you? You just lobbed a book at a girl. Are you insane? The most popular girl in school, the class president, appeared behind the guy with a smirk on her face. I told him to do it. You got a problem with that, Zane? No, why would you do that? She's not doing anything to you. What do you care? Go back to dribbling balls, dumb jock. As president of this school, it's my duty to make sure everything around here is beautiful, and that ugly eyesore is ruining the view. She needs to cover that ugly face or transfer to a different school. You're the president of the student council, not the school, so stop being unreasonable and stop picking on people. I'll use simple words so you'll understand. You rejected brain transplant donor, get out of my way. And I'll say it slower so you can hear it through the 4 pounds of makeup you have on your face and the 6 weaves covering your ears. Leave her alone. In that case, you, manservant, attack. I never thought I'd get into a fight, but I had to defend her. I didn't like seeing her get picked on. Just because she wore unusual clothes and that she was a bit quirky, people always made her feel ugly and unwelcome, and it never sat right with me. I had no choice but to defend her, especially because nobody else will. Of course, I got suspended while Alice and her minion were given a free pass, but I gained a friend thanks to it. Hey everyone, I'm Zane, and this is how I ended up making all the girls at school jealous. Do you have a unique title idea? Comment it down below and like the ones you think are interesting. You never know, your story may be the next one we post. Alright, now back to the story. During the week that I was suspended, Poppy visited me every afternoon. She'd let me copy her notes for the classes I missed, and then we'd hang out and make fun of Alice. I stuck by Poppy's side through all of high school. I knew Alice and her gang of mean girls were never going to leave her be, so whenever they went anywhere near her, I'd be Poppy's bodyguard. Honestly, I was only doing it as a friend, but just before graduation, when I thought I'd lose her, I got a bit scared, and I realized I never wanted to be far from her. I realized I was in love with her. I tried to tell her, and boy, did I regret it. It was just after the graduation ceremonies. I took her to our special spot by the hill, and I was so nervous that my hands were shaking. Poppy? Yeah? I'm really scared we'd end up going to different colleges, and that I'd lose you. Aw, that's really sweet, Zane. I'd be bummed if that happened too. That's really nice of you to say. I already knew it wasn't going the way I was hoping. She sounded way too sisterly when she said it. No, not... I mean, I'm not being nice. I mean, I really like you and I'm scared to lose you, and would you be my girlfriend? Oh. She just looked a bit confused and then sad. What is this? Is this some kind of prank or something? It's not funny, Zane. Why would you say it's a prank? Have you seen yourself in a mirror? Have you looked at me? I look at you and I only see how beautiful you are. Stop it. It's not funny, Zane. She slapped me and then she ran away. I was so in shock that I didn't even think of running after her. We didn't speak for weeks. I tried to call her, but she just kept ignoring my calls. I went to her house, only to find that she'd moved. I spent my summer unsure of what I'd done wrong. I was so certain I'd lost her until one day, as I was moving into my new college dorm, I saw her from afar. I was so excited to know that we ended up going to the same school. I ran to her. Poppy had totally changed. I had to blink a few times to make sure I wasn't seeing things, but it really was her. And it was as if puberty had hit her like a Mack truck during that one summer. Poppy was hot. Oh wow, you're here. What a nice surprise. I was so glad that she was no longer mad at me. We both apologized for how we both behaved, and it was as if nothing happened at all. I still felt awkward about the fact that she rejected me, but dang. Now I wish I really had become her boyfriend. Turned out Poppy got cast as a model during the summer, and it partially explained why she had to move for a bit and why she never got my calls. Suddenly, she became pretty popular in college, and lots of guys always surrounded her. But unfortunately for them, Poppy only had eyes for me. Yeah, you heard that right. She started liking me back. She told me it was because of me defending her the whole time in high school that she finally developed her self-esteem, and that if it wasn't for me confessing my feelings for her, she wouldn't have learned to really look at herself in the mirror. So now the most beautiful girl on campus follows me around and showers me with all her time and attention. Honestly, I couldn't ask for more. We were like the it couple. Basketball team captain plus the hottest, most popular girl on campus. That meant everyone knew who we were. Once I started dating Poppy, all the guys who wanted Poppy finally backed off, but it was the opposite for me. Once the girls learned that I was dating Poppy, every girl wanted me. They would secretly plot about how to steal me away from my girlfriend. They would sneak love letters into my bag, my locker, even in my car. Some of them tried to get my attention in secret, and some were shameless about it. I was really lucky Poppy wasn't at all the jealous type. Otherwise, I'd have been in a world of trouble. There was one girl who literally threw herself at me during one of my games, and guess who it was? Yep, it was Alice. You and we have a lot of history. We go way back, don't we? Why don't you leave that ugly girlfriend of yours and just date me? History? Like that time you called me dumb because I wouldn't do what you wanted? No thanks, Alice. You gotta stop calling Poppy ugly because you've got nothing on her. She's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. And in fact, you're the ugly one. No matter how much makeup you put on your face, you'll never be able to cover up your personality. I did not know that a microphone was nearby when I said that. The entire auditorium heard every word of our exchange, and the crowd roared with laughter. They pointed at Alice, and she ran out of there in utter embarrassment. Poppy ran to me and hugged me. Once again, I stood up for her, and this time, everybody heard it. Our relationship only got stronger from then on. But on the other hand, I made an enemy in the process. Alice was embarrassed in front of the whole school, and she vowed vengeance against me. From that day forward, Alice made it her mission in life to make me suffer. She stalked me, took pictures of me. She would even sometimes DM me from different fake accounts to tempt me to cheat on my girlfriend. But I saw through everything she was trying to do. In fact, I even showed Poppy all of Alice's lame attempts to make me fall for her traps. And we'd regularly laugh about it. And then, one day, the unthinkable happened. Alice was once again trying to get me to leave my girlfriend. And this time, she wrote an insanely long essay detailing why I should pick her over Poppy. But here's the kicker. In her rush to send the email, she pressed send to all instead of just to me. And her address book was filled with most of the student body, our professors, and even a couple of our college deans. Needless to say, the whole thing blew up. Everybody read it. It even got featured in the school paper. Alice became the laughingstock of our school, and she did it to herself. I didn't even have to lift a finger. In shame, Alice stopped coming to school. I have to admit, though, even I was starting to get worried about her. It turned out Alice had dropped out of college. They said she was about to leave town and study somewhere else. I was on my way to my dorm room to try to contact her. I have to admit, I still felt kind of bad that she was going through a lot of stuff, even though she brought me nothing but trouble. But all the pity I felt for her disappeared when I opened my dorm room. Alice was in there, and she had a bag full of my stuff. She'd gone full psycho. She had photos of me, some of my laundry, my guitar, even my blanket, all stuffed into a bag that she was cuddling on my bed. If I can't have you, no one else will. And then, in a move I wouldn't have guessed in a million years, she lit a lighter and threw it on the floor. And then she jumped out of the room with all the stuff she stole from me. The whole room lit up before I even recognized the smell of gasoline. I kicked the door open and ran out of there. And thanks to my quick thinking, I got one of the fire extinguishers off the wall and I triggered the building's fire alarm. Alice did not get very far. And now, not only is she expelled from the school, she's also in prison for arson. And even after she gets out of there, I imagine not many schools would allow her in their campuses.
I never thought my life would come to this. I never thought I'd be in my 20s and stalking a girl. My girl. But don't look at me like I'm a villain just yet. I promise you I have good reason for doing all this. I was just a regular bloke. I worked 9 to 5, I was renting a flat in the city, and I had a pretty standard life. But I tried hard for my girl because I love her. And my dream was to one day be able to give her the awesome life she deserved. Unfortunately for me, Shay got tired of waiting for that to happen. On our 6th anniversary together, I took her to the Caribbean islands. I must have put in hundreds of hours in overtime to afford it. But once we got there, Shay had no time for me. On our first day there, she spent all day taking pictures and videos for her TikTok. She was on her phone the entire time. She barely even spoke a word to me. I was so worried that I'd done something wrong because she always gave me the cold shoulder and the silent treatment when I wouldn't give her what she wanted. I was so sure she was talking to her girlfriends about the trip. And if I wanted to know what I was doing wrong, I needed to know what she was texting her girls about. I'm not proud of this, but when Shay left her phone on the table during our romantic dinner on the beach, I picked up her phone. And what I saw had me shook. My girlfriend wasn't texting her friends at all. Instead, what I saw was something even worse. She was on Tinder. And there were rows and rows of guys that she was messaging the whole day. The one she messaged the most was the chat that she left open. It was some guy called Mike who looked like some sort of tycoon. The guy had a private jet as his profile pic. How was I supposed to compete with that? Hi there, my name's Darius, and I taught my gold-digging ex a lesson she'll never forget. Do you have a unique title idea? Comment it down below and like the ones you think are interesting. You never know, your story may be the next one we post. Alright, now back to the story. I couldn't sleep that night. I lay awake just imagining all the worst things that could happen. What if she left me? All those years, all 6 years, just down the drain. I dreamed of starting a family with her, and in a snap, one of those guys on her Tinder could take it all away? So I laid out a plan. I was going to impress her like never before. I was going to say yes to everything she wanted. I was going to prove to her that I was the best boyfriend in the world. That morning, I woke up and ordered the most expensive breakfast on the menu. I surprised her with breakfast in bed. I catered to her, I massaged her feet, I even scheduled a very luxurious spa day just for her. After lunch, I took her shopping. I took her to the most expensive boutique on the island, and I let her buy whatever she wanted. All the nice dresses, the bathing suits, hats, even jewelry. I had never spoiled her this much in 6 years. But suddenly, after all the shopping was done, she turned to me and fainted. Babe, what's wrong? Are you okay? Relief came over me when her eyes fluttered open.
Oh, I must have fainted. I'm so sorry, babe. It seems like I'm coming down with the flu. I've been feeling sick all day.
Oh no! Then let's go back to the hotel. Or do you want me to take you to the hospital?
Don't be silly. It's just the flu. I'll be fine. Just need to get some rest. It's been a long day.
Of course, babe. We'll go back to the hotel. But once I was there, I realized something. Oh no, babe. I forgot about the fireflies. We're going to miss that nighttime tour to see the fireflies. I'm so sorry. I know how much you wanted to go to that. And the guy said they can't reschedule us. But that's okay. We should stay in until you're good again.
No, babe. You paid for that. You can't stay in here with me and miss it. Besides, you might catch what I have. Just go without me.
I tried to convince my girlfriend that I'd rather stay with her, but no matter how much I reasoned with her, she kept pushing me to go. She even got mad at me for wanting to stay. So because I vowed that I would do whatever she wanted, I went by myself. But halfway to that tour, I realized something. Before I left, Shay changed into one of the dresses I bought her. She even wore the earrings we got from the shop. Why would she do that if she was just staying in the bed that evening? So I doubled back, and my instinct was right. I caught Shay sneaking out of our cabana and briskly walking towards the docks. I only had one thought on my mind. Her Tinder. I was so certain she was going to meet with that rich dude she was chatting with, so I sneaked around and I followed her. And I was right. She got on one of the yachts that was docked and I lost sight of her. When she reappeared, it was on top of the boat and she was kissing the exact same guy who I saw on her Tinder. And it broke my heart. Shay never came back to our hotel room. When I woke up the next morning, all her stuff was gone. The only clue I had as to where she was her Insta. All day, she was posting to her reels, her story, and her timeline, and all the photos was of her and that guy, Mike, on his yacht. They looked like they were having the time of their lives. In one of the pictures, the guy was presenting her with a bracelet encrusted with a bunch of diamonds that I never would have been able to afford. She used to have 200 followers. The moment she started posting about her new fabulous relationship with a rich dude, her followers doubled, tripled, they increased tenfold. I left the Caribbean islands broken, but I was also determined. If that guy was the kind of guy she wanted, I was going to be that guy. I worked hard, harder than I ever worked in my life. I started taking better care of myself, I hit the gym every day, and I cut down on all my expenses. All the money I saved, I started investing. I bought into crypto, I taught myself how to trade stocks, and every day I got better and better at it, until one day I hit it big. Thanks to one lucky trade, I became a millionaire overnight. And out of nowhere, Shay messaged me again.
Hey, I heard about the good news. Congratulations on your first million. I knew you could do it. By the way, I miss you a lot.
I didn't respond to that. She dumped me for some rich guy, and now that I'm rich too, she suddenly wants me? But then I noticed something strange. Shay would publicly post videos of her saying she misses me. And then the very next thing she would post was an extravagant gift from her new boyfriend. Suddenly, I realized what she was doing. She was playing the field. She was manipulating me into falling for her again so she could fall back on our old relationship. And she was manipulating the other guy by making him jealous. Every time she'd reminisce about our relationship, Mike would feel threatened so he would buy her whatever she wanted. She thought she was slick, but I had learned my lesson. So I egged her on. I encouraged her. I made sure she believed that I would take her back if she left Mike. Meanwhile, all my investments kept accruing me more and more money, until finally I could afford my very own yacht. I bought one immediately, and the moment I posted a photo of it on my Instagram, I got the result I was hoping for. Shay started to get desperate. She was messaging me every day telling me she still loved me and that she'd leave Mike at any time because he was, as she put it, getting pretty boring. You know what I did? I sent all those screenshots to Mike. Mike dropped Shay like a hot potato, and that was when Shay really got desperate. She kept calling me every day, leaving voicemails begging me to meet her. She said she missed me so much and she just wanted to see me. She didn't know I was the reason her boyfriend left her. So I gave in to what Shay wanted. I invited her to my yacht, and when she got there, she hugged me and started kissing me, and I just gently pushed her away. I'm sorry, Shay. I actually just invited you to say goodbye.
What? Why?
That was when all the girls I'd met on Tinder appeared from my new yacht. See, I'm over your little games. I'm actually dating around now. Thanks to you, I became successful. I'm a bit of a womanizer now, I'll admit it. But at least I'm not being manipulated by a horrible gold digger anymore. And besides, I can't have you hanging around me. It would be awkward with my new buddy. And then Mike arrived. He was my new business partner. Turned out the guy was actually pretty cool. We all went on my new yacht and sailed off to another island. We toasted to a good life as we waved goodbye to a sobbing Shay we left behind on the docks. She wanted to play the field. She wanted to play us. Instead, she ended up playing herself. I had cold sweat running down my forehead. My palms were shaking and my knees were weak. I'd waited 4 years to do this. And now that the moment was here, I couldn't even begin to open my mouth. I just wildly looked around me, staring into the people that surrounded us, begging them, "Help me, please." But no words came out.
What?
I...
Out with it. You're being so weird right now. People are looking.
And they really were. I certainly didn't plan on asking her in front of everyone, and the fact that everyone was watching only doubled the stress of it all. But I had to. I had to say the words, or I'll just never know. I felt the words. They were coming out. I opened my mouth. And if ever there was a chance that Indy would have gone to prom with me, that chance shattered into 1,000 pieces when, instead of words, a massive, garlicky, pepperoni-smelling burp flew at her face. Hey there, my name's Will, and I became a best-selling artist thanks to TikTok. Do you have a unique title idea? Comment it down below and like the ones you think are interesting. You never know. Your story may be the next one we post. All right, now back to the story. The people who were around us moved away from me in unison, as if they just found out that I had the plague. Indy's face was indescribable. I had never seen anyone so grossed out in my life.
Gross! What the heck, Will? That was so disgusting! Get away from me!
That was it. My chance was gone. But my brain, still in shock, decided to ask the question anyway. Would you go to prom with me?
Seriously? Jesus H. freaking Christ, Will! You asked me this in front of everyone after you just showered me in spit?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean, but I'm your boyfriend. I thought we'd go to prom together.
Boyfriend? Please. I was only dating you because I thought your dad was rich. You were just a placeholder, you know? So I can make my real man jealous. Jesus. Imagine thinking you'd ever compare to Jackson. You're pathetic.
You don't have to be so mean.
Said the gross guy who literally just told everyone what he had for breakfast. You're a loser. And what? After high school, you're gonna become a musician? Please. You have less talent in your whole body than Jackson has in his little finger. You'll never make it in the real world. And I deserve to be the wife of a successful man. You're never gonna be that. You think your TikToks are cool? Wake up. You barely have any views. The only people who watch them are your parents, and that's out of pity. It's embarrassing, really. Move over. I gotta scrub my face clean of your germs.
And that was how she dumped me. The first girl I had ever dated, or according to her, not really dated. It was really humiliating. And what's worse is that I just stood there ages after she left, and everyone just kept staring, experiencing secondhand embarrassment. I imagine I looked like a train wreck to them. It was too tragic to look at, but impossible to look away. I wanted to disappear. I wanted the ground to open up and eat me. But I couldn't move a single muscle. I was in utter shame. I must have cried for days. I didn't even want to go back to school, not after all that. And not after everyone in our year started gossiping about my very painful public humiliation. I felt like even the teachers were talking about it. But my dad really lifted me up from where I was. He told me how he was just like me when he was younger, but that he finally realized that caring about the opinion of people who don't want you in their life is irrelevant. I mean, it didn't really prove much because he's a 5'4" nerd whose only friends are his old D&D club buddies, but I guess he's happy, and somehow he found Mom. So if he was able to find love, I probably could too. That kind of gave me a bit of motivation, and I stopped caring what people thought, especially what Indy thought. So I went back to school with my head held high, and I kept posting on TikTok. It didn't matter that nobody noticed me. I just did it because it was fun for me, and I loved singing. One day, some lady messaged me and asked if she could hire me to sing at her daughter's 18th birthday. I was shaking when I read it. My first ever gig, and I got it off TikTok. Of course I said yes. I was so excited. My first ever paying gig. But all excitement got snuffed when I realized whose house it was. Turned out I got hired to sing at Indy's party. And her mom had no idea who I was. It was already embarrassing enough that she publicly dumped me. How satisfying would it be for her to see me as the hired entertainer? She just looked down on me even more. But then I realized I was doing it again. I was caring about what insignificant people would think. So I told myself I shouldn't care who was there. I should only care that someone heard me sing and thought I was worth paying to sing at an event. And that was all that mattered. So I did the gig. I just made sure never to look Indy's way. I enjoyed the evening, and before I left, Indy's mom gave me a massive tip. I was over the moon. I never expected to even get paid for what I did. Now I was even getting tips. It got kind of awkward though. Indy's mom began texting me, and she would ask me if I would come by her house to sing for her again. But when I asked for what event, she said,
"Oh, nothing special. I just really love your voice. I find it calms me down. I just want to hear you sing for me."
That was weird, I thought. So I kind of just ignored her for a few days, but then she messaged again.
"I'll double what I paid last time. Just one song."
I sang for 3 hours during Indy's party. Now Indy's mom is begging me for one song for double the price of 3 hours? Yeah, nah, my parents taught me to seize every opportunity. So I made my way down to Indy's house and I sang my heart out for her mom. And after that, she gave me an even bigger tip than before. I kind of felt awkward, so I tried to reject it. "No, please, Miss Humphreys, you've given me enough. Thank you, though."
"It's Miss. I don't have a husband. And please, just call me Jess."
It was weird hearing myself call my ex's mom by her first name. But I guess she really wasn't that much older. Jess kept making me come back to her mansion just to sing for her, and I managed to make some real cash. In the meantime, I kept posting on my TikTok. I never gave up, even though I barely got any views most of the time. But slowly my following grew, and before long I had thousands. Jess and I also kind of fell in love. I know, it's a bit weird, but they say age is just a number, and I was totally legal at that point. Indy, however, did not take it well.
Mom! What's my ex doing in my house?
It's my house. And what do you care who I invite over? Mind your own business, young lady.
You can't be hanging out with people my age. It's gross and embarrassing.
It's embarrassing for your own mother to fall in love?
In love? Ew! Mom, don't be disgusting.
I thought for sure Jess was going to slap her daughter, but she reined herself in and calmly instructed her daughter to go to her room.
You are under my roof. And I can send you away without a penny to your name if I wanted. Remember that.
I don't care! You're being disgusting!
One more word out of you.
Like, what are you even doing? You should probably know I dumped him. You're trying so hard. And you're just having my sloppy seconds. Do you not have any respect for...
Jess dragged her daughter through the living room, through the main doors, and then she slammed them in Indy's face. She literally just threw her daughter out for bad-mouthing her. And me? I didn't even know we were dating. As far as I could tell, she just liked having me there, and I still got paid for singing to her. But when she said it out loud, I realized I was kind of falling for her. Honestly, she was hot. Much hotter than her daughter. And she was fun and awesome to talk to. She listened. So I realized I liked her just as much as she liked me. It was a bit weird at first, but we figured it out. And just as I was learning what it was like to be in a real relationship with a real woman, my life kind of exploded in a good way. It was like it happened overnight, but one of my TikToks blew up. I never quit. Even though people told me it was never going to happen, I never stopped posting, even though nobody seemed to care. But it only took that one post. I only needed to not give up. And suddenly, there I was, my phone blowing up with all the notifications. And in a matter of days, a recording company called me. They brought me in, we talked, and I hardly even heard what they were saying until they said that they would like to start working on an album immediately. Everything went from 0 to 100 really quickly. I got a record deal.